Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Knox Company, and I'm going to show you how to install one of these TV mounts on your wall. This is going to be for how to install one of these single smaller mounts. They go off of one of the studs here in the wall. So this is for smaller TVs. I'll put a link for everything that you might need in the description below. I'll put a link for these ones specifically so you'll be familiar with how they go together. But a lot of these smaller mounts go together the same way. So don't worry. The hardest part here is just mounting this to the wall properly. Do not be afraid. You can do it yourself and I'll walk you through everything. One reason I like to do the mount on the back of the TV first before I worry about where I'm putting it on the wall is because depending on what brand of TV and depending on the bracket that you have, it may or may not mount your TV high or low on the bracket. So where the bottom of your TV at might matter to you, which then you want to put your bracket on the wall higher or lower to get the appropriate height when it's finished. So by doing this first, you can start to gauge how far up or down you might want to adjust this bracket depending on the size of your TV and again, the brand. So the first thing we're going to do is get this bracket mounted to your TV. When mounting these TV brackets, the nice thing is that they are universal. It'll tell you exactly what sizes it goes up to, and it has all these pre-planned here to be able to line up with whatever type of brand mounting system you have. They also come with different screw holes, screw widths, spacers, anything that you might need to be able to attach to the back of your TV. Here we have it all lined up. We have the secure screws here to these mounting brackets on the back of the TV. Found the appropriate size bolts or screws that go into the TV here. Everything's already mounted on the TV now. You want to set this up depending on what kind of TV or size you bought. Get this thing set up and then we are easily able to mount it right onto the wall. So here in this bedroom, I know that there's going to be at least a stud that runs along one side of these outlets and probably the other side here where that cable jack is coming out of. So we can go above. I'm going to use my stud finder and I'm going to go just above it here and I can start to kind of run it along. And I can see right there, we have that stud running what looks like along the right-hand side of that outlet. And then if I keep on going, I'm going to hit another stud here, and that runs right along the right-hand side of that cable outlet. So I can decide to mount it to the left or the right, and we are going to go vertical. So we are going to run it 2 holes right here because this system mounts on 1 stud for the smaller TVs. And so we're going to be drilling the 2 pilot holes here. I'll be using the actual bracket itself to give me the guide, like as a template. We'll mark those and then we'll pre-drill them. And then obviously before we actually drill those holes and while we're marking them, we're going to make sure that that bracket is plumb. We don't want it to be canted either way. We want it to be perfectly plumb right there. And then we can drill those holes and then drive them in. Real quick, if you guys could just hit that like button for me. Lets YouTube know that I'm doing something right. Lets me know that you're enjoying the video. And if you don't hit that like button, I still appreciate you watching. Either way, thank you. Now I know right here is vertically where this stud runs. I have marks here and I can hold my bracket, make sure it's plumb, and I can mark those holes and then we can drill them. All we have to do after that is put the bracket up there and drive those bolts in. So now we can go ahead and take our bracket. We have our marks here where our stud's going to be at. This is vertically where it's going. I'm going to set the height that I want this bracket at. I'm also going to make sure that these holes are in the middle of where those marks are. I want these holes to be right down the middle of those studs. So I'm going to kind of set my height here in between those lines. I'll take this level here. It sticks because it has a little magnetic strip. I'm going to watch this bubble right here to make sure that we're plumb. And as long as I can get this all lined up and it's going to be vertically right up and down this stud, I can go ahead and mark my holes. We can now pre-drill these holes and then we can put this bracket back up and drive those bolts in. So when preparing to drill into the wall, I would always recommend pre-drilling these holes because most of these mounts require a really thick lag bolt because this is going to provide a lot of hold in the wall there. These are beefy. And you don't want to just slam one of these right into your studs and your walls. It could split the wood inside the wall and you don't want to do that. So always recommend pre-drilling, also because it's going to be very difficult to drive this in without any type of pre-drill. This is a 1/2 inch head. You can see I recommend here also using some type of drill and driver bit so that you can actually get that torque that you need to push this thing into the wall. And I'm going to be using not a 1/4 inch even though that does pretty much line up and it's recommended, I want to still leave a little bit of wood for this thing to bite into. So I might use like a 7/32 drill bit to pre-drill into the wall. And that way this thing does have a path to follow, but there's plenty of wood for this thing to grab onto. You obviously do not want to over drill that hole, and then this thing doesn't have anything to bite into when you're drilling it into the wall. So pre-drill, get yourself a driver bit, you know, some type of wrench in that, you know, these are going to be 1/2 inch, and this will make the thing go way faster, a lot easier. You could do this by hand if you had that same bit, but maybe not a drill. And you can use like some type of wrench, but that just takes a little bit longer. It can be done. I always recommend getting some of these, you know, for your impact drivers, and you can drill these things in super fast right after you do that pilot hole, and it'll be in there in minutes. Now we have the bracket secured on that stud. This thing comes all the way out, telescopes pretty far. You can obviously angle the TV if you need to. We have this pointing up, and then now that the bracket is also on the TV, we can just take the TV, set it on here. Should be able to do it yourself, but I guess they also recommend you should, you know, have somebody helping you. But if you can lift that TV up by yourself, this is definitely something you can do all alone. You can set it up on here, and then we're going to put this screw through the back to make sure that it's secured onto it, and this will not be going anywhere. And then just to kind of show you what's going on right here, I'll take it on and off for you. So this bracket is attached to the TV. This arm goes onto the wall. And then when you put the TV up, you're gonna lower the TV onto this, and you're just gonna line up that little bolt right there, little screw, and that ties it all in together. And then like I said before, we're just taking this little set screw. We are putting it right here in the back of the TV mount. This makes sure that once it's tight, you're not going to be able to lift the TV off of the mount. It has this threaded screw right here, so you can actually adjust it left or right. If for whatever reason this bracket is not square and you want to fine tune your TV, you can loosen this and you can kind of move your TV forward and back. And then you can also adjust it left to right, and it kind of pivots up here, but you can do that through this little bracket right here, just in case anything's not off or you want to, you know, make sure it's perfectly level. A lot of adjustments and adaptability here, which is why I really like these brackets. And I already know you guys are thinking, oh man, what about this cord right here? How can I possibly move that electrical up the wall and get all this stuff hidden inside the wall? Don't worry, I actually have a video on that, how to move electrical up the wall, how to move it over a little bit. So I'll put that link in here on this video so you guys can use that if you want to be able to hide these cords behind the wall or bring power up the wall and just plug it in directly behind the TV. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know in the description or in the comments there below. I respond to all the comments on my channel, so I'll help you if you have any problems along the way. But again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you hit that like button as well, and I'll see you guys on the next one.